And now we have a great interview for you today. The NBA analyst, the sports broadcaster, the president of the K.I.N.G movement, Mr. Chris Broussard. Welcome to the show. I'm so happy you have graced our presence. Thank you for being here, Chris.
Oh, it's great to be here. Your husband Tim's been telling me about the show for a while, and so I'm excited to be on. I've seen you've been doing some great stuff, so it's a pleasure for me to be here with you.
Oh, thank you. You know, I got to keep him around. But that is how I met you, through that awesome brotherhood that you started and Tim is a part of. But before we get to that, I want to kind of talk about your faith. What was it that when you had your come to Jesus moment, when did it all finally click for you?
Yeah, I literally had a come to Jesus moment. I was raised Catholic, and so I went to Catholic schools throughout my life, went to Catholic church every Sunday. My family was, very committed to that. But in Catholicism, I really wasn't taught a lot or anything about having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. Never read the Bible at all. I learned a lot of religious stories, learned a lot of stories about Jesus and the apostles and things like that. But because I lacked that personal relationship, I never lived it. And so I was out, doing a lot of negative things, getting involved in a lot of sinful stuff. And so my sophomore year in college, I began dating a woman who was a Christian. And she was known on campus as a Christian because, she wasn't doing certain things that other people were doing. And so we started dating. She was the first person that I was really close to that introduced me to biblical Christianity. So when we would pray, I was open to praying. So she would want to pray. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll pray. And she would pray like she was praying to a friend or a brother or a father, like somebody she knew and had a personal relationship with. And all I could say were memorized prayers. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee, blessed. Like that's how I prayed, just saying a memorized prayer. So I noticed that difference. And she brought me to a church one time, and it was a charismatic church. They had the lyrics to the songs up on the screen, and everybody was hyped, excited, hugging you and smiling. I had never seen anything like that in church. I was like, this is crazy. Because Catholic church, I was used to, just being bored stiff for 45 minutes.
Right.
And so seeing that, and then they had a guest speaker. He shared his testimony. He had been a drug addict while he was a teenager. And was even running away from home and things like that. And he gave his life to Christ at 16, got delivered from the drugs, and, went on to have a very productive life. And something about that message just touched me and really ministered to me to the point where I was like, I know I need to give my life to Christ. Like, that was the first time I realized my life wasn't pleasing to the Lord. And I wasn't a drug addict, gangbanger, nothing, but I was just getting involved in, sexual immorality, getting drunk and, hazing pledges in my fraternity, just stuff like that. And I knew I needed to get saved, but I didn't. I didn't go down to the altar call because I didn't want to get saved. I didn't want to try to live like a Christian. I didn't want, I didn't know any dudes that was living for Christ. Nobody on my basketball team, nobody in my frat. I mean, dudes went to church, but as far as really trying to live for the Lord, no. And I was like, man, shoot, I ain't about to be the only one and all that. And so I ran from God for about 6 months, and he still blessed me. I had a summer internship at a biggest newspaper in Ohio, Cleveland Plain Dealer. Did well. They told me they're going to hire me when I graduated a year later. And then I felt like, man, I got the American dream. Like, this is what I was raised to think life was all about. Get good grades in school so you can go to a good college, so you can get a good job, you can make money. That's what life's about, the American dream. So now I had it within my grasp, and I was excited, obviously, for a little while, but then eventually I just started feeling an emptiness. And like, man, is this all that life's about? Like, okay, I'm going to be successful, it looks like. and but yet I still feel empty inside. And so I kept running from God, trying to search out loopholes and all that where I could get some peace without giving my life to him. And eventually he just broke me down, really, where it was you keep running and be miserable and empty inside, even though you have all this stuff going for you on the outside, or you give your life to Christ and get some peace and some joy. So believe it or not, on my 21st birthday, I actually gave my life to Christ.
Wow.
That's my spiritual birthday too. So that's the short version. I've done hour-long sermons on my testimony. But that's the short version.
That's the grown man version. What I did hear was that a good woman will bring you to the Lord.
Man, I know so many dudes that got saved through a woman. Y'all have power. Y'all know you got power, right? y'all got power over brothers, man. So use it for the Lord.
Use it for the Lord. Use it for the Lord. That is an amazing testimony. I love it. So, you are known in the sports world, really, and that's how I really first saw you. Now, when you had this new birth and you were growing and moving up the ladder, what type of challenges did you face because of your faith?
Well, my biggest challenge was about 7 years ago when I was put in a position on national TV where I was asked some things about biblical morality, and I stood up for, what the Bible says about sexuality and things like that. And so I got a lot of criticism for that, but I did also get a lot of support. I was contacted from people in Africa, the Philippines, throughout the country. Even to this day, when I go into arenas, people of all ages, races, genders come up to me, thanking me and saying, they needed to hear that and so on and so forth. So it was a blessing, but then I also had the people calling for my job and for me to get fired and things like that. And the Lord protected me. So that was the biggest challenge. But even people in the league, players, coaches, assistants, were coming up to me like, man, that was great. So a lot of people out there want to see somebody stand up for the Lord. And I was put in a position I was able to do it. And so it emboldened a lot of Christians. And so that was, like I said, that was probably my biggest challenge. But at the same time, it was also a big blessing.
Yeah, I do remember that. So how did you push forward without compromising who you are and whose you are?
Well, I tell people a big part of it, if you're going to take a stand for the Lord, which obviously we all should do, you have to live it. I'm convinced that if I was working at ESPN at the time, if I had been up there messing around with the makeup girls and getting drunk and, cursing everybody out, just doing a lot of things that go on up there. And yet I'm talking about I'm a Christian and then I speak out against this and that. I think I would have got fired. I really do. Because I think people would have, I think at ESPN, the executives would have seen me as a hypocrite who just uses his religion as an excuse to be a bigot. Whereas instead they saw me as a sincere Christian who, while they may not agree with my beliefs, they know I'm sincere and they know that's what I'm about and that's what I live, not just in reference to one group of people, but to all people. And so, and I had people that work with me that vouch for my lifestyle and things like that. And so I think that's number one. And also it's not just like when we say live it, it's also about treating people with compassion, being, at the work, in the workplace, not being judgmental, standing on what you believe, but, hearing people out, sharing, being an ear for lending an ear to people. And also working hard. Like, I think I tell Christians, you have to make yourself inexpendable. To where if you're really, they may not agree with what you're saying or you believe or how you live, but if you're doing a great job, if you're working hard and the company needs you, then they gonna keep you. I use the Colin Kaepernick example. Obviously, him taking a stand for social justice or kneeling. cost him his career, which I thought was very courageous of him, because when he did it, he was a second stringer and he was easily replaceable.
Yeah.
But had a LeBron James or a Russell Wilson or a Patrick Mahomes or Kawhi Leonard, somebody like that, a superstar, you take that stand, you're not losing your career. You're inexpendable. No. So they need you. And so as a Christian, we should be the hardest working. And we may not all be the best at our job, but we'll be the best we can be. And so when we're doing a great job and, you know, people can vouch for you at your place, that helps you when you're put in a position where your faith comes up, you know, and it might come up controversially.
Yeah, that's good. Walking how you talk it.
Right.
I like that. I like that. And doing everything for the glory of God. If we could just do that, that is amazing. Right. Thank you for sharing that. Now, I know you're also a family man. Shout out to your family. What is the best advice you can give to men who are trying to balance their home, their career, their ministry, and just things they want to do?
Well, I would say number one, like my order of priorities in my life is God, family, career. And I think all of our priorities should be that. And so there were times in my career where when I was coming up, I turned down opportunities because it wasn't the best move for my family. Or I didn't feel it was what God was calling me to do. When I was covering high school sports, this is in the early 1990s, I was offered an opportunity to cover the Green Bay Packers as a beat writer. And here I am as just a little old high school writer. And I turned it down. It seemed like a great opportunity, but I turned it down because I wasn't married yet. We were engaged, and you know, my wife or fiance wouldn't have been able to get up there to Milwaukee. So it just, family-wise, it really wasn't a situation that was good. And I turned down an opportunity later to cover the Ohio State Buckeyes in Columbus for similar reasons. So, and obviously it worked out for me in the long run, and I was able to cover the pros and do all these things without sacrificing my family. So I think that's first and foremost. And so, you know, a lot of times, obviously working and providing for your family is a good thing, but sometimes you can do that. You can think you're doing a good thing because, man, I'm providing for my family, but you're not spending time with your children. You're not spending time with your wife. You're gone all the time. And so that can actually be detrimental to your family, even though you have good intentions. So I would say that's number one. And then obviously, you know, I told, there's a well-known Christian, I won't say his name, but he's very, you know, successful in the public eye. And he was interviewing people to write his book, his like biography. Okay. And I was one of the people they interviewed. And somehow we were talking, and I can't remember what exactly the question was. But one thing I said was, I know God has not raised me to where I am for me to leave him out. So now that he's promoted me to a high level and people know me and I'm making money and successful, he didn't put me up there to just all of a sudden leave him out, you know? Right. And so in all of, like, I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes and stuff, but I try to, you know, do my job according to principles that are godly, you know, so not say something, do something that, you know, betrays my biblical and Christian beliefs. And so I think that's important too, because a lot of times we can think to get ahead, we have to, you know, do some negative things or whatever it takes to get ahead. And that's like, you know, when you do whatever it takes to get ahead, and if it means doing sinful things to get ahead, that's essentially when Jesus was tempted, you know, in the wilderness, and the devil showed him the whole world and said, you can have it. I'll give all this to you if you just bow down and worship me. When you may not be saying with your mouth, you're giving your life to Satan or the devil or whatever. You may not even be thinking about it that way.
Right.
But if you do certain things that severely compromise your faith, and you're doing activities that you know are against God just to get ahead, you're doing the same thing. You're giving, you're following the devil's path to get the worldly success. And so we shouldn't do that for sure as believers.
You're going to help somebody today, Chris. I feel it. Come on now.
I hope so.
Yes. But you're already helping people, and you're helping men all over the country. I see that shirt. I know that symbol. Can you talk to the people about what is the K.I.N.G movement?
Well, first of all, it's an acronym that stands for knowledge, inspiration, and nurture through God. And the K.I.N.G movement is a national Christian brotherhood where we really want to help men live out their faith in Christ Monday through Saturday, and a lot of times I say Monday through or Sunday afternoon through Saturday, what I mean? Like as soon as you get out of church. But look, I saw when I was young in the Lord, number one, I longed for a brotherhood in the Lord. Men need brotherhood. We need male bonding. Yeah. Your husband, Tim, he knows, playing on a sports team, one of the best things about it is the male bonding, the camaraderie. My best friends in high school and college were my teammates, whether it's a fraternity, it's a lodge, like I said, a sports team, we need that male bonding. And a lot of the times we have it, but we don't have male bonding in the Lord. So a lot of the men we're bonding with are, they're good friends and stuff, but they may be, whether it's their lifestyle or whatever, if they're not in the Lord, they may be subtly leading us away from God. So I long for a brotherhood in the Lord. When I got saved, I was 21 years old. I didn't know many men that were serving the Lord. And so I found myself wanting that, just being around dudes who weren't going to tempt me or encourage me to go against my biblical principles, Yeah. And then I also saw a lot of men whose walks were like a roller coaster. Like they strong in the Lord for 6 months, then for 3 months they out, then in for a year, then gone for 2 years. And depending on what you came out of, because I was meeting a lot of dudes that had been, in prison, in jail, on the streets, who gave their life to the Lord and got saved. But when they backslid, when they went through a down moment, they ended up back in jail, or they could ruin their life, And so you go through a down moment and you might cheat on your wife and mess up your family. You mess up your relationship with your children. You go through a down moment and you get a DUI, or whatever it might be. Maybe it's even worse. You hit somebody because you're drunk in the car. So what I noticed was a lot of the brothers whose walk was like a roller coaster, they didn't have that brotherhood. Even though they might be in a good church, they didn't have men they could relate to in other ways, hip hop, sports, culture, whatever, but who also love the Lord. And so that's what I tried to create with K.I.N.G to help me and to help other brothers. And so we use, encouragement, support, teaching, accountability, and fellowship or brotherhood to help men really stay strong in their walk. Because our walk should be steady. Our walk shouldn't be like a roller coaster. Your walk with the Lord should be steady. And so we feel like, we're concerned about our nation, all of our people, because K.I.N.G is for all men, but particularly being African-American men, we're concerned about some of the things happening to us as a people in our communities and our families. And we feel like if we strengthen men and get brothers to really live out their faith in Christ, then that can make our family stronger, our community stronger, and us as a people and a nation better and stronger.
That's good. That is wonderful. So how can the men be a part of this?
If you're interested, our website is kingmovement.com. You can check out, some of the things we're about on the website. You can email us at king@kingmovement.com. That's king@kingmovement.com. And then we're on social media, Twitter. Twitter is King Movement, at King Movement. And then Instagram is thekingmovement.com. So those are places people can find out more about the King national ministry and movement. You know, we do things at HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities. Every Super Bowl, we hold an event for men at an HBCU in the town the Super Bowl's in. So we've been at Morehouse in Atlanta. We've been at Florida Memorial in Miami last year. We've had, you know, we work with various professional athletes, former NFL and NBA players have spoken at our events and shared their faith. And so, you know, we're really just trying to help men become all that God created us to be.
Yeah.
And as your husband Tim knows, he's a member of the King Movement. It's not always we just sitting around talking about God. You know, a lot of times it's just you hooping, you talking about music, whatever it may be.
Y'all have too much fun, though.
Right? It's fun, right? But it's a context that's not going to take you away from, you know, your biblical principles. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I love it. I've walked in the room sometimes and he's on the Zoom call, but he's so loud, just laughing, y'all talking. I'm like, wait, is there a women's movement?
You know, women have asked us, or some of the guys' wives have said, why don't y'all start a queen or something? And I'm like, look, we would be very supportive of it, but you know, I don't have the bandwidth to do that. But I tell you what, though, you know, look, obviously sisters have been so instrumental in you know, promoting the gospel and the kingdom, that if any women do want to help King, we do have setups where women can help us, you know, help promote it, or even, you know, push it to their husbands or other men they know, but even do some things that can help us administratively and in promotion and things like that can really promote our movement. Because here's the thing, and we just had an election, and I know some people are excited and some people are disappointed, but I was saying before the election, no matter who won, we, particularly speaking of us as African-American people, we have things we got to do, regardless of who's in the White House. We got to build up our family. And to do that, we got to build up our men. We can't just relax based on who won and think everything's okay, or panic based on who won and just melt. We have to, you know, put our faith in the Lord and do what he's calling us to do to strengthen up and build up our people and improve the quality of life in our communities.
That's good. I know my brother, he's a pastor, and he always says, I'm not a donkey or elephant. I follow the lamb.
Hey, I'm with you. I am with you. And I ever said it that way. I've said I'm not left, I'm not right, I'm kingdom. But I like that. Not a donkey, not an elephant, but I follow the lamb. I'm gonna steal that from you. So let me know.
But it has been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you. Now, before we go, though, I always do 5 questions, okay?
Rapid fire.
Just rapid. Whatever comes to your head, you have to say it. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What is your favorite scripture?
I'm gonna say Romans 8:28. All things work together for good for them that love God and are called according to his purpose.
Come on. What do you do in your free time?
I work out, you know. My wife, we've even started hiking. We went hiking in the Adirondacks a couple weeks. I know Black people do hike. We were the only ones up there, but we did do some hiking. But I work out. That's a workout, you know. That's a workout. And I lift weights. I know it might not look like it and all that, but I lift weights and do my elliptical, you know, try to stay in shape. I'm not hooping as much. I used to hoop a lot, but I just haven't had time like I used to. So I guess I could theoretically say basketball, but I haven't played in a while.
Right. I did not know hiking was gonna come from your mouth.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And we only been once, so maybe I'm over exaggerating. Like, it's not like we go a lot, but we went and we plan on going more. That's all I'm saying.
Things a good woman will make you do. Okay.
Right.
What is your biggest accomplishment?
I would say it is raising my daughters. I have twin daughters, 22 years old. They graduated from college last year or in May, and they both graduated summa cum laude.
Oh, wow.
And they both got, even during the pandemic, they both got really good jobs. One works as a lab manager at Yale University, and one works at MSNBC. And so they, you know, I'm blessed. That y'all know, as parents, your kids, raising them and having them be successful and, you know, love the Lord, that's definitely my biggest accomplishment.
That's beautiful. Go, ladies, go. Okay, your special shout out.
Man, I'm gonna shout out the King movement. All the brothers in the King movement. You know, we trying to build it up and keep growing and really make an impact on this nation. And so I want to shout out all the brothers in the King movement.
Okay. You're not gonna go into a song or anything on me, okay?
No. None of that.
All right. What is a quote that you live by or any encouraging words you want to share?
Wow. I don't know that I have a quote that I live by, but I'll just use this word. You know, it's a quote. I often, you know, I try to memorize scriptures, so when I need them, I can call on them in my mind. So I'll say Joshua 1:9, be strong and be strong. The Lord commanded us to be strong and very courageous.
Yes.
And so in these times, we as believers need to be strong and courageous in our faith.
That is a way to put a pin on it and end it. I love that. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you. You have a great day and give the love to your family for us.
I will. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be on with you. I enjoyed it.
Yes. What an awesome and powerful man of God.